Before Arthur are the sounds of gunshots and screams, an all-out war. Behind him is the demon witch Rangda. Rest will not be known to Arthur, for each path holds its own horror.
I have to move forward. There's a chance these people could help.
Arthur looks down the barrel of his rifle and moves through the trees. As he gets further, the buildings in the distance come into view. One large building with several smaller ones surrounding it, spread out in all directions. One massive storage tank about 30 feet tall, with armed survivors on top. They're raining down bullets on a sea of boars and the undead. The undead pile on top of each other, creating a wall of bodies trying to reach the top of the storage tank. A boar rushes to the top of the pile and tosses a corpse at the survivors. It lands on top and is quickly shot and kicked over. The creatures are relentless, and those people will only live as long as the ammo holds out. At this rate, that won't be long. All the creatures are focused on the storage tank. Arthur is free to move about unseen. Arthur has an idea and sneaks around to the back of the main building. Arthur enters the building. It looks like no one's been inside yet. He goes to get the keys from the utility room.
I'm going to get the gas cans from the supply shed and burn those fuckers down.
Outside, the chaos rages, and for a brief moment, Arthur wonders if he should just let it be and hide.
They don't even know I'm here. After they kill them, they might just leave. No, I can't do that.
Arthur pushes these thoughts from his mind and gathers the keys. He makes his way to the window and carefully looks out. The creatures surround the storage tank.
How do I get all the gas cans to them? I can't just walk them over. I don't even know if it'll be enough.
Arthur looks around the facility.
The generators. If I turn them on, it'll draw everyone over to them. And then I can ignite the gas cans by the big diesel tank.
The explosion would be gigantic.
I'd have to start the gens, and then get as far away as I can. I'll use the side door. There doesn't seem to be anything facing that way.
Arthur takes a deep breath, then opens the back door slowly. No monsters in sight. He goes over to the building that's holding the gas cans.
Who are you? And what are you doing?
Keep your voice down. I mean no harm. I'm going to help your friends.
My friends? You mean the people up on that round building? I don't know them.
So what are you doing here?
I watched you come in the gate and I followed you from the street. Why you want to help those strangers?
More people is how we survive. We have to help each other.
More people gets complicated. Gets ugly real quick.
I've seen ugly. And she's heading this way.
The man lowers his gun.
What do you mean?
The reason this is all happening, the creature that started it. Rangda. I've seen her. And I think she's after me.
The man picks his weapon up again.
Then you best get the hell away from here. There's enough bullshit without you bringing that on us.
You don't get it. Me leaving here won't stop any of this. And if you want to have a chance to live and help, pick up a gas can and help me.
Arthur turns and opens the door. Then he disappears into the building. The man looks around and then walks inside with Arthur. Arthur and the man enter enter the storage building. It's neat and organized with rows of PVC piping on shelves and large power tools locked up behind chain link fence.
What are we looking for in here?
This.
Arthur points to several large cabinets. He opens one. Inside are many large containers of gasoline.
We're gonna leave these outside near each other and make a giant bomb. Once I turn on the generators, it'll bring those things over, and then we get as far away as we can before I blow it up.
How you gonna blow it up?
I'm gonna shoot one of the cans.
That won't work. I saw it on Mythbusters.
Shit. What if we leave a trail of gas from one of the cans and light that?
Sure. You got a lighter?
Arthur walks over and grabs a propane torch.
Yeah, I do. Let's get moving on placing these. Those people are on limited time.
Two men gather the large cans and start bringing them outside. Arthur places the cans in a tight square pattern and opens up one of them and pours it all over the others. He opens the cap to the top of the diesel tank that holds fuel for the generators, approximately 6,000 gallons of diesel. He hands the half-full container to the man and says,
You pour out a line away from the generator towards the street. I'm going inside to turn them on. As soon as you see the monsters surrounding the gens, you light that line and run like hell. I'm gonna turn on the generators now and run towards the woods. I'll get far enough away before you light that fuse.
The man nods and begins pouring out the gas. Arthur runs inside and gets to the panel for the gens.
Oh, fuck, I hope this works.
The generators come on, and over the noise Arthur can hear the screeches in the distance. He bursts through the back door and flies towards the woods, each step pounding through his heart and lungs. Faster, faster into the woods, and darting through trees. He turns his head to see the fires start racing down the line of gas towards the cluster.
Please work. Please work.
The generators are covered in monsters clawing and chomping at the metal sides like a sea of piranha. The fire gets to the cluster of cans and goes off. It's like fireworks spraying everywhere, engulfing the monsters and spilling over onto the diesel tank. With the lid left off, it's only a matter of time before the explosion is massive. Arthur is thrown down by the blast, his eardrums damaged and his equilibrium compromised. Arthur lay there on the floor breathing, staring into the sky.
I hope this worked.
Arthur struggles to get up. The explosion was concussive and he is disoriented. He gets to his knees and runs his hand over his face several times, trying to steady his eyes. His focus comes back, and the damage comes into view. It worked. All the monsters lay in pieces all over. Burnt piles of flesh are splattered on the walls of the generator building. The generators, however, are destroyed. The only alternative source of power is gone. The water plant won't be making any water anytime soon. Arthur staggers trying to walk, realizing he's injured his ankle in the fall. He limps to the roadway and looks for the man who helped him. He's lying motionless on the ground in the distance. Arthur makes his way over. The man is face down. Arthur turns him over to find shrapnel has embedded its way deep into the man's eye, killing him.
I don't even know his name. Thank you.
Arthur turns his attention to the water tower. It's distant, but he can sense silence. He can make out no movement on top of it. Arthur passes by the dead heaps of smoldering creatures and covers his face from the smell. Once at the base of the tower, Arthur calls out,
Hello? Is everyone all right up there?
No answer. But there is movement above. Arthur calls for them to throw down a ladder so he can come up.
It's safe. For now, you can come down. I'm sure you need food and supply. There's a lot of resources in the main building. More than enough for all of us.
No response. Arthur backs up a little and can make out a hand reaching around the edge of the tower.
Are you hurt? Can you throw down the ladder so I can come on up to you? I can't see shit. I have to get somewhere higher so I can see what's going on up there.
Arthur goes back to the main building.
If the generators were working, I could check the cameras to see the top of the GST. But, wait, I have an idea.
Arthur goes to the locker room. Brian's locker might have binoculars in there. He was a hunter and always looking at birds and shit out along the fence line.
Bingo. Alright, these will work perfect. My God, how much camo can one man own?
Arthur climbs up the service ladder and onto the roof and looks out at the GST. A pile of corpses lay limp all around, and among them one small creature gnaws on a body near the edge.
I was too late. I wasn't fast enough.
Arthur stands there and watches the small demon eat the bodies, the people atop the GST, while the fire burns the earth around him. The trees begin to change color, and he watches the sun start to whirl into a light shade of pink and slowly turn red.
She's coming.
The sun turns the reddish hue that can only signal the approach of Rangda. Arthur is once again alone. He grabs his weapon and limps inside. Tired, hungry, and injured, Arthur is helpless. He has a few bullets left and contemplates taking his own life.
There's no getting out of it this time. I'm beyond fucked. I can't even run away.
Arthur goes to the window to look out at the trees. They are dying, but in the moment, the mix of colors and falling leaves is beautiful. Arthur tears up and lets out a deep breath while clutching his weapon. He thinks about his wife and son, out there in this world, not sure if they're alive or dead. He's pretty sure they couldn't have survived, and just hopes it was quick and without suffering. The sun is a raging ball of red now, and Arthur can see people approaching in the distance. 3 of them in deep red hooded cloaks, followers of Rangda, which is in her unholy coven. The grass dies around their footsteps, and they seem to steal the very sound from the air approaching silently. Arthur checks his magazine.
5 bullets. Enough for them. And me.
Arthur knocks out the glass window with the butt of the gun and takes aim. A miss. A headshot, and the witch dissipates into black smoke, leaving the cloak behind in a pile on the ground. The second witch goes to raise her hands. Another hit. The last witch raises her arms towards Arthur and clenches her fist tight. Arthur's breathing is cut off, and he falls to his knees. He struggles to take breath. It's like he's forgotten how to breathe. He opens his mouth and tries to scream. Nothing comes out. Arthur forces himself to his feet and takes up his gun. His eyesight is getting hazy, and it's hard to focus. He shakily points the gun at the witch and squeezes the trigger. The final witch is down. Arthur can breathe again. He gasps for air like a fish out of water, filling his lungs with what they crave.
I tried. Oh, I really fucking tried. I can't do this anymore. There's no end game.
Arthur loads his gun. Outside the window, the black swirling figure of Rengda moves into sight. Arthur can hear her inside his head and feel her presence. Arthur turns the gun on himself and stares at her.
I'll see you in hell, bitch.
The gunshot rings through the silent air. Arthur's body collapses to the ground while Rengda moves over him and consumes the essence of his corpse. A dark red mist shoots from Arthur's body into Rengda's smoky claws. Her physical form becomes less inky and more solid. She tries to float away and is now subject to gravity. The witch ponders quietly for a moment, then walks away, scorching the earth with each step. Rengda, once again, walks the earth. His vision is like a broken TV set, not in focus, but he can almost make out a picture. It is pitch black with what looks like people gathering around him. He cannot move. He cannot stop the image from scattering from his eyes. He lets out a cry.
What's happening? Who's there?
That was quick. Took me what felt like days to unscramble my noodle. There's nothing to focus on here anyway.
Jerry? Is that you?
Hey, you didn't scramble your brain with the shot. Yeah, you remember me. I couldn't remember shit for a while. Prepare for the worst headache/fuzzy feeling in your brain. It's like a little furry caterpillar moving in your head every once in a while.
What's going on? Am I dead?
As a doornail.
Is this the afterlife?
It's sort of. Looks like we're trapped in that Rengda bitch. The old man can explain it better. Hey, Gramps. Get over here, he's awake now.
Arthur's blurry vision only lets him make out brief shapes and movements. He can tell another person approaches, but can't fully make out what they look like. Then he hears the voice.
Oh, your eyesight will come back in time. We all were the same way upon coming here.
Arthur tries to get up, but stumbles and falls hand over foot onto his face.
Don't worry. I know. You met me as one of her witches, using my old skin as a costume. But I assure you, we are in the same team. I mean, we're stuck in the same place. If this is a place, or time, I'm still not sure.
What do you mean? Where are we?
As far as I can tell, we are dead. And somehow attached to Rengda. What she experiences, so do we. Her visions, her pain, and that repulsive joy she feels when she absorbs one of us.
How many of us are there?
We've seen as many as 20 or so in here. They all fought in some capacity. It's like she only choosing warriors to consume. The others aren't really talkers. Some of them haven't recovered their eyesight, which isn't a big deal. It's just endless darkness in here. I've tried to find the end of it, but it just leads me back to the same place. It seems we are nowhere. At the same time, we cannot leave this location. But we aren't without hope, you see.
What could possibly be the hope?
If she's killed, there's a possibility this reality would end for us, and we could move on. Or whatever it is we would do otherwise.
How do we kill her from here?
Not us. You see, out there is a hope. Thomas and Michael are still alive.
So how do we get Thomas and Michael to kill her? Are you sure they even can?
It would seem they have been infected or possessed by the counterforce of Rangda. A very powerful being that we can feel and hear as well. And we can tell she feels it too. It seems to have split and taken both Michael and Thomas as hosts. So, it's weaker apart, but they have a physical form, which makes them stronger. Rangda is still not 100% flesh and bone, and retains a lot of the weakness of the spirit realm.
How do you know all this?
You learn a lot just listening to her speak to the Coven. Are you familiar with the Balinese mythology of Rangda and Barong?
Of course not.
Well, it's playing out in front of us. And I believe he may be our only hope, through which we may see a way out of here. Or be destroyed. There's really no telling. There's nothing in the mythology about being trapped inside her. What he's trying to say is we're fucked either way, but one way, we're not stuck inside Mega Bitch.
So how do we get them to find each other?
We don't do shit. They're always hunting her. It's like a waiting game to see who finds her first. She's lost and retreated from every fucking battle so far. If they both corner her, she's fucked. But as they push her around the globe, more human lives will end, and she will gain more power. Her goal is to become whole again by consuming people like us until she's able to fight them both off. We just have to hope that doesn't happen. Even now, I can feel one of them closing in.
Is there anything we can do besides just sit and wait?
What, do you want to play Go Fish? We're stuck in this bitch and there's no way out.
But why us? What's special about us?
Good question. My only thought is, we put up a fight, or she saw us as a threat.
But why not just take every person she comes across and get powerful quickly? There has to be a reason.
There's no operating manuals in here. Maybe this cunt runs on spite and just takes on anyone who puts up a fight.
Arthur gets to his feet. Still blurry and shaken, he slowly walks a few paces and realizes his leg doesn't hurt. In fact, there's no pain at all. Jerry's face comes in and out of focus and reveals advanced stages of decay. Arthur is shocked at the sight and reels backwards.
Yeah, it ain't a pretty picture. The hole in my head ain't getting any better, and I still have no hand. But on the bright side, nothing hurts. Just feels fuzzy. You know, really, really fuzzy.
Arthur sits back down and runs his hand over the back of his head. He feels the gaping hole in his skull and is overcome by regret.
I couldn't do it anymore. I thought it would be all over.
Now, don't look so down. Listen and open your mind. Can you feel it? One of them is closing in. Rangda will have to fight off another assault.
The tension builds inside of Rangda as one half of Barong approaches. Jerry, Arthur, and the old man can feel her unease. The surroundings begin to change. Instead of endless darkness, it is a faint red that seems to glow ever so slightly.
So what happens inside while they go at it?
Sit back and watch the light show.
Outside, Thomas is nearly upon Rangda. A grotesque amalgamation of human and demon parts rotting away on him. His never-ending hunger as he chews off his own hand and quickly regenerates it.
Rangda, now is your end.
Thomas rushes in and blindsides Rangda, tearing off one of her arms. He feverishly devours it and grows in size. Rangda spins around and tosses Thomas to the ground with a flick of her fingers. She has grown in power and is more formidable than the last time they met. Thomas lets out a low bellow and tears his jaw off, throwing a mass of spiked fangs at her. It sticks into her chest and a thick red blood trickles out. Thomas rips off a section of his shoulder and eats it, regenerating his lower jaw.
Today is your end, fiend.
Inside, the red glow has become a colder blue and is fading in and out.
What's going on out there?
It's Thomas. I think he's getting the better of her. Oh, good news, good news. Attaboy, Tommy. You fuck her up real good.
I can't see. Only flashes at a time of what's happening.
It's not great reception in here, but it lets us know what's going on.
Thomas grabs Rangda by the throat and lifts her up to eye level.
I will savor your corpse.
Rangda jams her clawed hand into Thomas's bloated gut. They begin to exchange blood. His flesh burns and smoke fills the air. Thomas's body explodes like a boil, sending pus and bile everywhere. Rangda regrows her arm and takes her first fully formed steps on Earth. She is healed. She is alive. She is whole. Rangda walks the Earth.
Fuck, what do we do now? Oh, this isn't good. I didn't think she could actually consume Thomas or Michael.
That just leaves Mike. And there's no way he can beat her now, right?
I'm afraid not. Very, very unlikely. So what now? We're trapped in here forever, rotting away?
The gravity of the situation starts to weigh heavy on everyone. The realization that Rangda may be unstoppable at this point is heavy news to accept. The silence is broken by a familiar voice.
Oh, my head.
Tommy.
Jerry? Is that you? Oh God, where am I?
God? Unfortunately, the only gods here are Rangda and Barong. And it seems that the evil is winning.
No, you're wrong.
Hmm? What are you getting on about?
I've seen inside Barong's thoughts while he controlled me. Would have destroyed the earth and consumed everyone and everything.
How is that different from what's happening now?
You mean she's doing the same thing? Oh, I was eating everything in sight. People, animals, it was horrible. The looks on their faces. The families I destroyed.
What about Mike? Is he doing the same?
No, I consumed while he created. For some reason, we couldn't work together, even though we were inhabited by the same hosts. He's been creating an army.
So there's still hope to destroy Rangda. Even so, it would seem the Earth and mankind are doomed. It makes sense, really. They are gods. They care nothing for the mortals, only their own needs.
Why can't I see? Can any of you see?
It'll come back after some time. But you're not gonna like what you see.
Where am I? What exactly is this?
The old man explains the situation, and his hope that destroying Rangda would set them free, set their consciousness free from this trap. Thomas is confident that Mike's army is able to kill her, and they are on the way.
Well then, we see how this plays out. More waiting. Oh, good times.
You don't have to just wait. We can help.
What do you mean? How?
While I was inside, I found that if I struggled hard enough, I could affect his movements with just my mind. I could make an arm twitch against its will, or even involuntarily take a step.
When it comes down to the final battle, they must all at once focus and try to make her make a mistake at a crucial point, allowing Mike and his army to defeat her.
Well, it sounds like we have a plan then.
An eerie silence falls over the group as they sense Michael and his army approach. This is it. The final chance. The only chance to stop Rangda for good and escape this endless nothing.
There it is. They're here. It's time.
In the distant forest, shadows can be seen clustering together. The trees and brush bend and sway to make room for the vast army. An army not of men, but of grotesque horrors. Wretched things held together by dark magic and hatred. Skin upon foreign skin, tooth and nail intertwined in macabre fashion. Truly a march of horror. In the center, Mike is in his full demonic form. Eyes black and wide. Long claws on hand and foot. Burnt reddish-brown skin, and a mouth full of razor-sharp needle-like fangs. Rangda spots Mike and hurls her hand forward, causing a shockwave that sends lesser monsters flying, while Mike and the inner circle remain. This leaves Rangda nonplussed. She sends more shockwaves and crushes several demons. Inside, everyone is focused on stopping her assault.
Come on. All at once now.
Rangda goes to slash her hand through Michael, but stops short and is quickly covered in screeching horrors.
Yes, it's working. She's losing.
Rangda takes a step forward and tosses off the beasts like they were children. She grips Mike by the arm and tosses him against a tree. Mike plummets to the ground as more of his minions rush the witch.
Now all together! This is it!
Rangda stumbles on her feet as claw and fang pierce her flesh. She puts her hands on the assailants, and they melt skin from bone instantly like ice cream in a fire. Mike walks up and digs his claws into her midsection, pulling out a chunk of meat and a rib. Rangda howls in pain and forces her hand into her own chest. Mike thrusts deeper and begins to heat up Rangda's blood.
Now is your end, Rangda.
Rangda pulls out her own beating heart. It is onyx black and radiates out a crimson red glow.
This is not the end.
The heart glows even deeper and starts to shake and hum.
If not now, another now.
The heart explodes outward with flashes of black and red light distorting and bending all things. Silence. It's been raining the last few weeks non-stop. The gentle sound of it knocks me out while I'm laying in bed. I'm dead asleep when I get the call. One body. My boss chuckles and tells me to bring my rain boots. God damn it. I'll be there in 20. I arrive to meet my driver for the night. It's Greg. I like Greg. Wait a second. I feel like I've done this before. He's wearing rubber waders and puffing a cigarette. He doesn't look at me. He just says,
I hope you can swim, kid. Get in the van.
We get to the park. Police direct us to go to the center where there's a pond. Inside the pond, I can see a human hand. I'm having extreme deja vu. I swear I've done this exact pickup before. Something feels off about this night, and I can't stop the strange feeling that I think I'm being watched. Hello, and thank you for listening to The Pariah Complex by me, Michael Martin. I'd also like to thank the Semantics Podcast for playing this series when, this was a couple of years ago. I'm not sure when anyone's listening to this, but it's 2022 right now, October, and this played over the course of a couple of years, and they were good enough to keep playing it, so I'd like to thank them for getting as many ears as possible on this, and I hope to get some more ears on it. But thank you for listening. Please check out my podcast, Is This Mike On? And yeah, thank you.